Please don't put your life in the hands of a rock and roll band. Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis. That lyric always cut a little close to the bone for me because as somebody who has spent my entire life in musical projects and bands, there have been times where I did put my whole world into a group or a band. And I'm here to tell you under no uncertain circumstances that unfortunately almost every band or every member in a band does have an expiry date to some degree. The reason this came up, or at least that I've been thinking about it this week, is I had a very interesting phone call. A guitarist that I play with on a regular basis, who I absolutely love, phoned to tell me that another member of the band is going to be let go. I was kind of shocked because that particular member, in my opinion, brings a lot to the project and there's no ego involved. I just didn't quite understand. And nonetheless, this guitarist who had called me, it is his band, and he has his reasons as to why he wants to go in a different direction. And it got me thinking about all the bands that I've been in over the years and how these different problems socially or things that nitpick and peck at each other eventually build into problems and force change. The change is often unfortunate. It's not wanted by the audience, the people that grow to love that band. It's not wanted by the band members. And the main thing here is that as easy as it would be as musicians, if we are being replaced or let go, if we can remember that it's not personal. Sure, sometimes people are megalomaniacs, and that's unfortunate, but 9 times out of 10, nothing in life is that personal. You know, it will serve you well if you can think that way. It sucks. No one wants to be let go from a band. But if I can share anything from my experience over the years, it would be if you can potentially try and not take it personally, it will allow you to move on quicker. So don't for a second think that it's about your playing ability, especially if your playing ability is at a point that you are confident in it. Sometimes people just don't gel. Sometimes they don't get on. Sometimes they do on a surface level, but away from that, there's nothing more to it. And these things just happen. So if you can try and not take it personally, you will be much better off mentally to move on to the next thing. Now, there are sometimes reasons why people get rid of people in bands unnecessarily, and the list would keep us here longer than I would want us to be here. If you are concerned about your position in your current band and believe that you have brought a lot to help build that band up as a brand, if you're super paranoid, I would suggest getting band contracts in place. I've been in bands that have them. I've been in bands that never have. It's all about communication. And there are several ways to keep your band together. 1 is all sharing the same goal. 2 is being open with each other about grievances you might have with one another. 3 is agreeing on the styles musically and being on the same page about how you want to play and perform. And 4 is knowing if there's a pecking order. Is one guy in the band more important than the other? Has it been discussed on a grassroots level that this guy or girl potentially owns this much percentage of that band? And if so, are you okay with that? If not, maybe that discussion needs to be had. If so, you can't complain. You know, some bands work together to grow together as a brand, and they stay together almost their entire careers. Look at bands like U2 and Coldplay, to a degree the Foo Fighters. Yes, I know people will now comment because of the Josh Freese situation, but there are some bands that you can tell they all work together for the greater purpose of that band or brand. Whereas other bands, if you look throughout history, some bands have replaced members per album, per tour, and not to sound negative in any way, but we all have expiry dates. I'm in some bands right now. I love the people and the chemistry that we make with the music we create, but that doesn't mean that you will be there forever. It's no different to any other relationship. You have to work at it and you have to communicate. So if anything, today's video is really just to get you thinking about that. Be open with each other. If something's bugging you, not in a mean or socially strange way, but bring it up and say, hey, I really don't like the way you introduce such and such a thing on stage. It makes me feel like this. And even though that sounds wishy-washy and kind of very woke, I know that some people are kind of anti all of that, it's important, and it could keep your role within your group or band, or likewise, it can keep your members if you are the band leader. But those pecking orders should be determined, and if they haven't been, you might find yourself on a cutting block, much like this friend of mine this week, which is just kind of crappy, but it happens. And if anything, we can use experiences like this on this channel to maybe prevent it happening to you. I hope you get something from this, and if you do, please hit that subscribe button. My name is Travis Mark. I will talk to you on the next one.